USA podcast where we put you on the map. This is Ron Costa broadcasting live in Las Vegas in the Mapable USA studios. Folks, we got a great show for you today because we're going to be talking about something that's near and dear to everybody's heart, which is, of course, real estate. And there's a lot of big buzzwords going on in the crowdfunding world on a number of different levels. Crowdfunding real estate, of course, seems to be the top priority, the number one thing people want to talk about. And to help us bring that topic to you guys, I've got Vicki Hachmala on the phone. Vicki, how you doing today?
I'm excellent. I hope everyone's having a great day.
Great. Vicki, and I'll tell you what, we talk about this all the time. We're talking about buzzwords, trends, whatever you want to call them, and everyone seems to be talking about these opportunity zones, right? I mean, you hear it all the time.
It's a hot new thing, and a lot of people and entities are able to participate, which gives it a broad interest for a lot of folks. So it's there in everybody's mind now.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of real estate agents trying to get involved with this. The brokers, they're talking about properties within opportunity zones. And, you know, whenever you talk real estate, there's always a law component to it as well. So, again, we're going to bring on a friend of the show. He's been on before. We really love having this guy on. Folks, let's introduce once again. We've got Mr. Mark Roderick on the phone from Flaster Greenberg. Mark, how you doing today?
I'm doing extremely well, and I want to say thank you again to you guys for having me on. It's a great show, and I always enjoy it.
Always
we love having you
on,
as Mark.
Yeah, and Mark, you know,
a lot
again,
of information, and we like to share that information.
Yeah, people who haven't listened to the previous podcast, we've had Mark on before to talk crowdfunding. He's a crowdfunding attorney out on the East Coast. Does a lot of really great crowdfunding work. He's got a good website that we'll talk about in a little bit as well. And today, Mark, we want to talk about opportunity zones, which you're very well aware of because that's one of your specialties. And what are you seeing these days in opportunity zones? Are you seeing the same kind of buzz? And I don't want to say hype because hype is always that. I don't know. It's got kind of a negative terminology to it, but the interest in it is really amazing here in Vegas. What are you seeing these days?
You know, the interest in it is amazing all over the country. Yes, so as you know, I've written on my blog some stuff about qualified opportunity zone funds, and I'm doing a bunch of them. And I'm just getting, as you're saying, there's a lot of interest. I'm getting calls from all over the country. Texas, as always, a hotbed of entrepreneurism, a bunch of qualified opportunity zone stuff. But yeah, it is an idea that has been very successfully disseminated. So, you know, when the government does these things, they rely on people like you guys to get the word out. And the word has definitely gotten out. So everyone is interested. I bet every single real estate professional in the country has heard about qualified opportunity zones.
What do you think makes it such a popular subject that everybody's talking about?
That's a great question, Vicki. Well, I mean, and no one has ever asked me that question, but it's like it seems obvious, but the answer is not obvious to me. It's certainly about money. And I guess two things that are near and dear to the hearts of the people involved. So for taxpayers, which is all of them, saving taxes is like, you know, you can always get people interested. If you tell me you can save taxes, people's ears perk up. So that's a, I guess, easy sell. And then for real estate professionals, you know, real estate developers, of course, always looking for capital. Right. As I always say, if you find a real estate developer who's not looking for capital, call 911. He or she is definitely not breathing. So, I mean, put those two things together. So the Qualified Opportunity Zone funds provide a way for, one, all Americans to save on their taxes, and two, a great angle for real estate folks to raise capital for projects. So, yeah, that has proven to be a very powerful combination.
Do you think that people get, by investing in an opportunity zone in a repressed area that helps to redevelop that area, do you think that gives people that feel-good feeling that makes them feel proud that they've invested, that they took the step to invest in an opportunity zone? Do you think that's part of the picture?
I think it is probably part of the picture, and to hear you say it that way, yeah, I think that's part of the picture, because I mean, as long as we're gonna, people want to do good while doing well, as they say. So I think that's a piece of it. I think that, however, those qualified opportunity zone funds or qualified opportunity zones have been there forever without people investing in them. So
that's right.
It's the tax savings that is really piqued people's
that's
interest.
motivated them.
Yeah.
To push them across the line.
Right.
Yeah, you have to make this distinction, too, about the opportunity zone, the actual physical area, which is designated by governors of each state, and the investment, which is basically an investment into a fund. You're really not – technically, you're not investing into an opportunity zone. You're investing into an opportunity zone fund, which is run by a group of people who are running that fund and seeking out the actual real estate and the properties, and it doesn't even have to be real estate. Is that right, Mark? I mean, it could be businesses. It could be really anything that substantially improves the area. Yeah.
For sure.
So,
that's right. You can put any kind of business in a qualified opportunity zone. It can be a qualified opportunity zone business. So yes, it could be an ice cream shop, it could be a pizzeria, it could be anything. But in our world, it is typically real estate, or at least there's typically a strong real estate component.
Exactly. Yeah. I spoke to a business broker last night who didn't even know what the Opportunity Zone program was, and I thought, boy, if she's selling businesses, then she should at least know this. Add that to the arsenal. But real estate is very big. The commercial guys are all over right now. We see it all the time. And the funds, we talked about it the last time you were on the show, where these funds can be self-certified, where I can create my own fund if I want to. Is that right? With no restrictions.
You absolutely can. Yeah. You sure can.
And to do that, it would just be a matter of filing a document with the IRS, I believe?
Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah, there's no one checks. Which is not.
Well,
I almost sounds like I was making an invitation for people to cheat. But of course you can get audited, and just like any tax benefit, if you get audited, they're going to say, well, prove to us that you were a qualified opportunity zone. But there is no. It's not like you have to file a piece of paper and someone in the IRS goes and checks and sends you a confirmation letter back. That's not how it works. It's all self-certifying.
Okay, all right. And then what about the individual taxpayer who has a capital gains tax, and he's going to submit their tax return using another form? I would imagine there must be some kind of special form that you send to the IRS that says I'm investing, $50K into a QOZ fund.
Yeah, I mean, on the tax return, there's going to be, I guess, on Schedule D, actually, there's which is the capital gain schedule. There's going to be some kind of declaration, just as there would be, for a Section 1031 exchange or something, some kind of declaration that I am electing to defer gain. And they'll probably then require you to give them the EIN of the fund, and there'll be some kind of cross-checking there. But yeah, it's all self-certifying, which is why investors have to be careful. They about of course investors always have to be careful whom they're investing with, but the fact that the fund manager, claims that they're a qualified opportunity zone fund and you can get these tax benefits doesn't make it so. And if they turn out not to be, and the individual taxpayer is the one who's been audited, saying, well, I thought they were, that's not a defense. So once again, just all that much more reason to, get some invest with reputable people. It's possible that you're going to start seeing investors require, like a legal opinion from someone like me, certifying that it is. I haven't seen that yet, but it's certainly possible.
Sometimes the greater the
that's inevitable.
The greater potential for fraud exists too. So the bigger the opportunity, the more people want to take your money.
That's always the case. As the more money is sloshing around somewhere, the more bad guys have an amazing nose. They're like sharks smelling blood in the water. So I mean, as an example, the blockchain and cryptocurrency world that's just been, people just shoveling money, or to mix metaphors, pouring money like through a big fire hose into that space, and has been an amazing amount of fraud in that space.
Oh,
so.
It's
I mean, and again, I don't mean to paint it all with the same brush, because there's a lot of great companies in that space. But when you get a lot of money sloshing around, you get fraud, and that is probably going to happen in the qualified opportunity zone space as well.
Yeah, like you said, you got to be careful on that.
Especially at the ending of the process. It's only later when people realize that they do something about it instead of, I should have checked it out before I started. Yeah,
that's right. But nevertheless, it is a great opportunity. Not to make a pun, but it's a terrific opportunity, and there are a lot of folks out there who are developing great projects. And I think the other thing that we have to keep in mind, the main thing we have to keep in mind about these things is you can't let the tax tail wag the dog, right?
Right.
So, yes, you get to defer some tax and save a little tax by investing in a qualified opportunity zone fund. But if the fund is making terrible investments, the tax benefits are going to get far outweighed, because you're going to lose your money. So it has to be a good deal. That's the main thing. The tax is the icing on the cake.
And you have to have
economics have to be good.
You have to have a certain amount of patience, because it's not an overnight sensation where you're going to realize your investment right away. You got to wait and let it mature.
Well, the longer you wait, the better the tax benefits get.
Which is what I meant to say.
Yes, well, I knew you meant to say that, Vicki.
Why we like you, Mark? Because you can read our mind.
I know, I'm reading your mind. Like the psychologist in Anchorman 2. I don't know if you remember that, but he says, "You're reading my mind." But yeah, so I mean, you recognize the capital gain, you invest the capital gain, you don't have to pay tax on it for as much as 7 years, and that's a great benefit. And every year that goes by, you're saving those tax dollars on the deferral. And then if you hold the investment for 10 years, that's the real savings, because then all of the appreciation since you invested, you pay zero tax on. So, I mean, that is the grand slam. You get to defer some tax up front, but then, man, on this investment, let's say you invest $100, you end up getting $400 back in 12 years, and you don't pay any tax on that $300 gain. So, yes, that's a long time to wait, but it's a terrific tax benefit.
Is there a finite period of time for opportunity zones? I mean, is there going to come a point in the future, aside from the time limit for getting the amount of full capital gain deferment, is there a finite time for capital